Yeah, it looks like we've got quite a few people in this race. How many are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if I see that right.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of people. Mid-boss might join, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. This is gonna be a bit different than the showcase last year. That took significantly longer than originally intended. This time we're just gonna race 4 games in one big race, and everything should be fine. There will probably be nothing that goes wrong. Hopefully.
Yeah. How? Why would anything ever go wrong here? Can you change the title here?
Demos have historically always been very consistent. There has been no tech issues whatsoever in the previous 2 tournaments. Listen, if people need to drop out of Conquest, I will be severely disappointed, but if you don't have the time, you don't have the time. I will not force anybody. I will just be very disappointed.
What we're setting up?
But things happen.
Why don't you explain to people what the NextFest Conquest is and what we're showcasing here?
Yeah, that works perfectly fine. So, similar to how Mystery Tournament works, NextFest Conquest is a blind racing tournament. However, this is specifically focused on just NextFest demos. NextFest being an event that happens 3 times a year on Steam, where people can enter with games that will release in the future. The games need to have a demo, and the demo can then be played by however many people want to find that demo. We have, well, some of us have press access, which means we get 11 days before the start of NextFest itself to test the games. And then people race the games in blind races for a whopping 7 days. Which makes this, I think, the shortest tournament in the Mystery Discord. It is a very hectic time, but overall, generally, people have fun. An additional thing that's very important this year in particular is with the whole rise of AI thing. All games that have an AI disclaimer banned from the main gameplay pool. That means nobody can run into AI games, at least if developers are honest about their AI disclosure, which hopefully they are. But otherwise, it's more or less similar to MT. Conquest does rely on the rule of cool, in the sense that if a game is really unique and it's a bit open, so be it. It will be played. That might be to the detriment of people, like in the first Conquest when there was this really cool samurai game and somebody that is maybe in this call went to an area I didn't even know existed. That was a bit unfortunate, but the game was cool. It more of an unfair-ish tournament, I guess, in a sense. Format-wise, it's also pretty much similar to MT, except for the fact that if the game is under 20 minutes, it is automatically best of 3. Should a game be intended to go longer than 20 minutes and somebody beats it and that person is like, man, I really want to race more, they are, if they are the winner, able to offer a best of 3 to the loser of the race, thus extending the race. Primarily because the goal of this tournament in the end is to showcase demos and games that people haven't seen yet. I think that about covers it. If there's any questions, I'm also open to answering those. We also have this do I get bonked for posting links in the MT chat?
Nope, I think that's completely free for everyone.
Yeah, no, we're gonna find out. Okay, yeah, we have this fun little entry that is the written version of what I just went through. The downside of the event being so short is that it's pretty much only available to the people that have a decent amount of time on their hands or are very flexible. So the deadline for signing up is on the 14th of June, while the tournament itself begins on the 15th, because there's always a possibility of somebody getting vacation signed off on the Friday beforehand, or maybe something gets cancelled and they suddenly have time, or if something happens and they suddenly don't have time. It being a week-long thing where one has to race probably at minimum one game every 2 days, depending on how many people join, maybe even 2 a day. It's on the more demanding side. That should very much cover it, I think. I assume all the people that are in this, or at least enough to be restreamable, are live. And I guess I can also already talk about kind of what we're gonna see here. These are gonna be 4 demos from the previous NextFest. I, over the last few weeks, scoured through a bunch of them. Some were not available anymore, some were just of questionable quality, so I picked 4 of them in somewhat varying genres, trying to find things that might be enjoyable to people, and we're gonna go through those. So I think you need to still go live on Discord for me to watch the restream thingy.
Oh yeah, just a second.
Yeah. We got time. Yeah, this is also something that I sent to 2 different people other than me. So we made sure that this is decently tested. Everything should work perfectly fine.
Right,
This is an
properly even, huh? And then I guess I'll have to... Why do I have to click these? I thought that's... Oh, maybe it's not fixed. Twitch always messing stuff up. Anyway, since we're racing these back to back, I guess I'm not really putting the name of the game on screen.
Yeah, no, probably we can quickly talk about it, but I mean, we can also just link the entry for the showcase. I think you can pin multiple messages in Twitch chat. Look at all those people with clean audio. But yeah, we're gonna start with Turnip Mountain, which is a nice little twin-stick climbing game. This is the one of the 4 games that has been mentioned in this Discord before. I think by you even.
Oh yeah, I looked at the page of this earlier. It looks like something I've seen before.
I'm pretty sure you posted this at some point. You probably found it during one of the NextFest and like, this looks interesting.
I mean, we don't see yet what the game looks like, but it looks like some other climbing games I've seen before, where you're basically just like a head with 2 hands or something.
Or Turnip in this case. Anyway, we're ready enough that I can unenter from the race, right?
Yep. Okay, are we waiting for anyone? Just one person, looks like.
Does ready up still work? Ah, there we go.
Alright, we're starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So what is this game?
Alright, so this is Turnip Mountain. This is literally your turnip. You have 2 arms and you can climb. The way that this works is your left stick on the analog controller controls the left arm, the right stick controls the right arm, and then with the shoulder buttons, be it L1, L2, R1, R2, you can grab the individual with the individual hands. This is fairly simple. It's a bit weird to get used to at first because it's one of those unique-ish control schemes. There's also some hidden things you can do, like you can hold with both hands and then pull down and then quickly pull up while letting go, which gives you a little jump.
So
the game does explain that. I think it's start of the 2nd stage.
now that chat mentions it, this is kind of Donkey Kong Jungle Climber.
I guess in a way, yeah.
Except without the rotation. Like you're always horizontal here. Okay, but looks like you can do some really fun stuff. We just saw a roll or something like that. Looks very speedy and jumpy.
Sometimes you're stranded in a place where you can't grab anything. Then you have to, I think, hold Y or X, and then you retract your arms and can basically roll like a turnip, because turnips are known to be balls. So I guess technically this is also a ball game?
I mean, I guess it counts a bit.
Yeah? Yeah, there was a key that Alpha collected to open the door. Something very classic, as we all know. There's also brushes you can collect. I think they're for either color schemes or skins. Not sure. Didn't bother with it. I assume the racers won't bother with it either.
Yeah, currently we're very gray. I wonder if that's intentional, like you have to collect some colors.
I think there's a lot of games that use this color scheme. Alpha seems to have figured out that jumping is one of, if not the fastest way of moving in this game.
And
yeah, at the end of the stage you need to pull down this flag.
Oh.
Or hoist the flag.
That looks like it's almost the slowest part of the stage. Like, no fast jumping or anything.
What you can do is you can climb up this little part there that is intentionally put there and just grip on the cord with the right arm repeatedly. That makes it pretty quick. This is also going to be probably one of the shortest demos here, because this does have 2 levels. After that we move on to the next game, which is the dreaded puzzle game.
We hope we're pushing some boxes.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
You know me, I need to put some puzzle game in here. I picked something that looked very cute, and then it showed up in the Cerebro showcase like 2 days ago. Yeah, we can see how Alpha is definitely yet again kind of vibing with this game. He is definitely ahead, and he has grasped the jumping part. Well, some of the other players seem to be struggling a bit here still. Now there's also these bouncy mushrooms that you have to make use of.
Yeah, Alpha did an interesting move earlier. He pushed himself downwards. not something I'd expect from this game, but I guess with the bouncy mushrooms it makes sense, like... Since you're not always climbing up, sometimes you throw yourself down on a mushroom or something.
Yeah, so there's these little arrows you can see on the stage design that tell you where you need to drop to land on a mushroom.
Oh yeah, there's like
They're not
secret or something
super
over there.
noticeable.
There's an arrow, question mark, arrow.
Yep. Which Alpha, as usual, just ignores. You're supposed to like jump there and then drop down so that the mushroom bounces you to the left.
Oh, yeah, that needs a downward push. So when I saw this, I expected there's like... I forget what that... Heave-Ho, that's what that one game is called I'm thinking of. But that, I think that's more of a... like careful precision platforming kind of game, and this seems pretty fast and bouncy.
It depends. So, funny enough, Heave-Ho is getting a sequel.
Oh.
That was announced during, I think, the French Direct recently. And that one is also going to be more focused on like more fun mechanics because they want to lean more into the whole party game feel of it. So climbing games are having kind of a renaissance with oh god, what was the other climbing game? It came
Peak?
out that was well, also Peak, the other one, the more cel shaded one.
I don't think Jusant was very well known. What else?
Just
Like
Otto.
Cairn, maybe? Is that kind
Cairn,
of
that
cel-shaded?
one.
Okay.
That's the new one. Yeah, I think that's... I don't know what else to describe that art style as. And we have another fancy mechanic on Alpha's screen here. He needs to grab these seeds and throw them, which in turn creates grabbable fields.
With these limited colors, it's kind of hard to tell the stages apart. I guess Tossed Fish is now clearing stage 1.
Yeah, Fish is now entering stage 2, everybody else is in stage 2.
Yeah, Mushrooms means stage 2.
And Alpha is definitely currently ahead of these 4 people. Three of these 4 are also already signed up for Conquest. Alpha definitely needs some more convincing. I'll see what I can do. All these busy people.
How many people did we have in NextFest Conquest last year? Looks like we have...
21.
Oh, well, that's more than I expected. Where are
So-
we now?
If Aiko leaves at 17, but Ark still needs to join, so 18. Otherwise we're at 19 if Aiko doesn't leave. So we're close again. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if we were to reach 32, I would have to cap the participants, because after that it's gonna become not feasible for a 1-week tournament. Unless everybody has a whole lot of time. Anyway, Alpha is now moving on to the second game, having beaten both levels in under 8 minutes. Which seems like a pretty decent time.
Yeah, pretty short demo, just 2 stages. Oh, cute cat squeeze.
Yeah, now we're going into the world of cats, Sokoban, and explosions. Because every good cat game needs explosions. This is also a bit of a weird demo. The goal is specifically only to beat the base levels, which the game sends you through. There's bonus levels in this demo, however, if you exit to the main menu of this game, you lose the fish you collected, which you need to access the bonus levels. Which is a very weird bug, but
Oh, you can push more than one box.
You can push more than one box. There's a few interesting mechanics in this that we will encounter. The game is at this point still teaching the most basic things. Yes, every good Sokoban needs cats. Cats make for good puzzle games. So, we're seeing this mechanic on Alpha's screen now. If there is not enough space after going through a pipe, the cat will explode and destroy the surroundings.
The cat will explode sounds like a game title. There's a game that's named similar like that.
Probably explodey cats.
No,
I mean, Blast Cat's the thing that was in last NextFest.
I think I'm thinking of a game by the developer Piers and Grey Witch, and it's like I forget what it's called.
Yeah, Alpha breezing through this. Pretty old still in the first game. Having issues with these vines. Yeah, for the most part, these puzzles are going to be fairly simple. Alpha resetting instead of just undoing.
I was curious, so I looked it up. It's the hot dog would explode. That's what I was thinking of. Classic puzzle game.
Hot dog. Close enough. Yeah, the cat is named Coco in this game. There's another thing. This game is very smooth and it's controlled. If you go out of a pipe and you hold right, for example, you will just continuously push the box. The game will not stop you. So, if you're not careful with your input, you will just push the box into the wall.
It seems kind of unusual for a puzzle game like this that you can just blow up any wall. They're not marked or anything. It's I guess you can kind of tell where you're gonna blow up stuff since you see where you have to continue.
Yeah, the level design is very much built around that. I wouldn't be surprised if later on there's some secrets you can find. I hope this isn't the case of somebody finds a secret in the demo that I wasn't aware of. It'll be fine.
Everyone else that we have here is still on the climbing game.
Yeah, Alpha did really well. So, like I said, I had multiple people test this. I don't think anybody beat the climbing game in under 10 minutes. I can check, but Alpha did really well. He is also doing really well with the puzzle game, which isn't particularly surprising, Alpha being Alpha.
Oh, now we're even blasting through pipes.
He's not gonna go past the statue, which just tells him something about some stuff, lore, irrelevant. Cat deities, cute and all, but not necessary for all purposes. So now the game introduces these fun little doors, where you need to collect all pieces of the fish bones, I guess, before the door opens.
The keys, basically.
Yeah, they're basically just split keys. But yeah, Alpha isn't even stopping to think, he's just going. For the most part, these are very self-explanatory. Sometimes you have to actually push boxes back and forth or like preserve boxes. For example, Alpha destroyed a box too much there.
No, all the pipes are blocked. Looks kind of symmetric, so I guess it's just the same solution on each side then.
More or less. I don't remember all the solutions perfectly. I think Marshmaster cleared the... Yeah, Marshmaster also cleared the first game. Is also gonna move on to our little cat game here. Yeah, I think Alpha's fine. Yeah, there we go. Fairly quickly recognized what the problem was. So whenever you explode, you basically destroy in a 6-block radius in front of the pipe where you come out of. And since your explosion is very indiscriminate, it affects whatever is there, be it boxes, pipe, floor, pretty much anything. Alpha wasting time going to the optional statue, which I of course didn't tell anybody about, but that's besides the point. Has to figure out how to correctly destroy things here though.
Okay, you can't get the upper boxes out, so I guess that's why he's trying to blow up something up there.
Yeah, but he didn't need to push those boxes down. Yeah, he just has to go... Yes? No? All he has to do is push those 2 boxes so that they're on top of each other, and then go through the tiny pipe. There we go. And now he has to arrange these so that the other side of the pipe is blocked. Yeah, okay. So Babs is at the end of stage 2 as well. We'll probably join Alpha and Marshmaster in this puzzle game soon. Which Fab's disdain for puzzle games is known, so...
It's like Fabs had some difficulties there in climbing, just used one hand while climbing over.
But he did get the flag in one pull. Which in itself is already impressive. Well, this game has very chill music, which I think for puzzle games is important, since you will probably be listening to the music a lot. So we'll add it. Here's the link for the second game. Most of these games are not out yet. I think the only one that is the last one. Yes, everything else is still coming soon, or to be announced.
Oh, I saw the Turnip Mountain page and it said release date 2022, but that's the demo.
Yeah, some games have separate demo pages, some games don't. Comes with up and downsides. People being able to write reviews for the demos is pretty nice, I guess, for the developers. Pretty sure Alpha was fine destroying that. Unless
So
he
the
only blows up
explosion
one.
would open the path to the left one and then the right one. I guess you have to stuff the right
You
side
have
of
to
that
stick boxes on the right.
pipe.
But that works. You can push the top box down. Yeah. No, you cannot push a box through. Okay, yeah. Push the box down twice, go through the tiny pipe. There we go. Alpha has grasped the core concept of Sokoban yet again. Well, the issue is that he has a box in the corner, and as we all know, boxes do not belong in corners in soccer ball games.
Well, I mean, it changes things if you can explode.
Sure, but at this point you can't explode the box out of the corner. Like the box to the right there is just there. That's a solution that I originally didn't do. I guess it works. I had all boxes free. Grabbing more cat deity fragments.
Oh,
Plus
Fish
has
looking at
completed
some
its level.
extras.
Well, the showcase entry specifically says beat both demo levels. I made sure to not confuse people with beat all demo levels for this one. I assume we'll not also be moving on to the cat game. Hopefully remembers to capture the cat game. That is the one issue with having 4 games on one race. There is a good chance that somebody forgets to capture the game.
Well, we have more racers in that case. So
we do.
for Alpha's puzzle here, if he would go through the little pipe on the right side, would the cat still explode there?
Yes. That is a free explosion.
I think that would have worked for Alpha, right? Seemed like he just had to blow up in the small space on the right.
He should know that as well.
I don't know, maybe he thinks that an explosion always needs a box.
Fish has also captured the cat game. A bit slow on switching the game over, but it shouldn't hurt him too much. Alpha definitely understands the explosions pretty well at this point. The main risk really is blowing up boxes that you're not supposed to blow up. Or in this case, blowing up more than you should early on. He has to open the path on the left first. Because he cannot do it with only one box available. Pushing that box down, I'm pretty sure, is not possible. If I remember correctly, he has to move the right side box up and around. But he insists on pushing it down. The Marshmaster also seems to mostly drive with this game. Okay, yes, Alpha, push the box around. Alright, there we go. Has figured out what his issue was. Should be able to beat this level and move on. I don't remember how many levels exactly this had, but I'm pretty sure we're reaching the end of this on Alpha's side. Marshmaster is...
Can you escape down there? Can you go out of bounds?
I hope not. I have never tried, and I hope that's not possible.
That's where the meta puzzle waits.
I think there are secret puzzles, but I don't think they're in this part. Alpha realizing that there is space to the left, and thus the boxes can be pushed. Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
feel
that's
the
the
end.
I get to talk to this statue, and then there should be a little text that goes, "Thank you for playing." Does the text not show up anymore? God damn it!
Okay, but it does say end, so... Alpha's looking for the way out.
No, 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 no! You better have the goddamn IRC pings enabled. Okay, he does.
Enough cat explosions. Let's see what's our next game.
This is a very cool little game. So this is a nice little 2D platformer, which is gonna give us some very neat abilities by the power of the Crimson Thread.
Very foggy. Makes me think of what's it called? Unravel? Never played that, but that's like a red thread something platform.
The Ubisoft one, right? Yeah. I think I played that for an hour. Alpha trying to take the shortcut instead of just jumping from the left platform. Yeah, at first you have no real abilities. This changes very quickly. And then we start getting some fun movement tech. This game technically has diverging paths, but for the purpose of this it's not gonna matter because it's just a left side path that's a little bit longer but easier, and the right side path that's more difficult but slightly shorter. I assume depending on how confident the individual players are, they just gotta pick whatever they feel is the best choice for them.
I think I still hear one of the cat games, which is confusing. All of the volume sliders are down. I think the Twitch is messing with us a bit.
Yeah, that sounds like Twitch. Alright, Marshmaster also at the end of this. Hopefully realizes that he's at the end of this. Does realize. Alright, very good. Alright, Alpha now has the ability to grapple onto enemies. Different enemies will have different behavior if you grapple onto them. And you will have to chain 2 different enemies and do different moves. He has now reached those little slimes. If you dash into the slimes, you get momentum into the other direction. Those little Cyclops fly things, on the other hand, just let you bounce on top of them. And there's always this nice little red circle around every enemy or obstacle. They're not technically enemies, I guess, because you don't fight them. That shows the range of your...
They're just convenient stepping stones.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this was a game that I found this while going through the list of the older NextFest, and I was very surprised that I have never seen this, because this is like a very nice looking art style, and movement games, or especially movement platformers, are generally something that people keep an eye out for. And this game did feel very good to play.
Nope. Alpha getting stuck there a little bit. I was getting worried.
I had everything flash in front of my eyes there with Alpha maybe getting stuck in a corner. He would never let me live that down.
Now we've got different paths.
Yep, that's what I mentioned earlier. There's a difficult but short path and an easy but longer path. Alpha being Alpha, picking the difficult but short path. Which is just more platforming. Very difficult.
So far it doesn't really seem like much of a challenge. It's just zip to the next point.
Yeah, so far you have one button. The game will introduce another mechanic in a little bit, where depending on what button you press, the behavior changes of the enemies. But this was probably the game I had the most fun with, one of the ones I tested. Except for this part. This part is a bit tedious. Now he has to go around and collect these crystals to open the gate. He has to find 3 crystals to open the gate. Which again, different paths allow for different crystals to collect. There's a lot of choices you can make in this game. Probably wouldn't technically be a traditional race, but the game is fun. And, fun games should be played. On the other hand, Tossfish and so much Fab still being cats, living their best lives. At this rate, Alpha might beat this at like 50 minutes, probably. Depends on how well he does in the last game. This one probably won't take him too long either. Which is perfect. The estimate of 60 to 90 minutes will live on. Has to now grapple on this little guy. The creatures in this are probably based on some mythology that I'm not aware of. If somebody knows, feel free to enlighten me. Yeah, there is still can't game music. I don't know where. Fine. Do you have the store page open?
That wouldn't be captured. I don't have desktop audio. I only have Alpha turned on the dashboard. Oh, we've got swings now. Nice. So we've been having some issues with the embedded Twitch players, and I think maybe one of them just plays audio now. Maybe it's tossed fish because his
Yeah, it is definitely fish.
because his stream was set to mature, so I had to do an extra click, and maybe that kind of turns the volume on again or something.
Well, that would be something. But yeah, so Alpha has now unlocked the ability to have a second button to interact with enemies with, which means that he can either dash towards these guys and bounce up or swing around them, depending on what is required in the moment.
Can you keep grabbing onto the same bird?
Yes.
Because then I guess it's pretty safe. It's still not that hard, I suppose. You can just retry in place.
Yeah, this isn't a very difficult platformer. But it feels nice to play. And yeah, the second ability on the slimes kicks them away. Which
What's
you
the
can
best
use
Crimson
to...
game? I would vote for Crimson Skies, maybe.
Great question. I feel like Crimson is something that happens to be in some very weird titles. Can't think of one. I feel like that's more of a subtitle thing.
There's a 3DS game called Crimson Shroud, I think, which is like some kind of tabletop RPG simulation.
Never played it. I think the most recent one that comes to mind is Crimson Desert, but I haven't played that, so... It specifically doesn't support my GPU. I think it does now, but... But since this is the only one that comes to mind that I've played, this is clearly the best Crimson game.
Yeah, seems pretty good. It's a good Crimson game at least. Top 5 Crimson games.
That would be a wonderful tier list. Alpha bouncing around. Little...
So much Fabs
wall
reaching
dragons.
the end of the cat explosion game. Cat squeeze.
Hopefully also just changes the game and doesn't get confused. He gets confused, might be looking at IRC. Okay, good. So far, so good. I'm not keeping track of all 8 racers because that's a lot to keep track of at once, but I'm assuming everybody else is also...
I had a quick look at the other races. One of them was on the platformer, everyone else was on cat game. I think maybe we'll switch tossed fish out and then maybe that solves the audio duplication.
I would assume the other person who's on the platform was either Nighty or Whitley. Ooh, Alpha needs to be very careful here. And saved himself. Tossed Fish is clearly using today as a warm-up for his upcoming match later today. I think it's in 2.5 hours at this point. Alpha doesn't have the timing for kicking the slime and then dashing to it down yet. Okay, Whitley is further than Fabs, but is behind Marshmaster and Alpha. Alpha saving himself every time he makes a mistake. Barely, but still saving himself. And then shot himself too far.
Finally a challenge here.
Yeah, like I said, so the different moves you can make on most of these enemies do like result in different outcomes. On these wall barred phoenix things, you can either jump diagonally off of them or straight up, which depending on if you want to change sides or just jump straight up, you need to press the right button. How close the IRC? It's terrifying. Probably be fine. Wait till they just continue. Don't get distracted by the mirror. Oh, that was a big bounce there for Alpha. I think Marshmaster is not that far behind. And I think after Alpha opens this portal, this game is also done. If I remember correctly. I might be wrong. It's been a week or two since I did originally test these.
There's one of the 3 keys. Do they not have any functioning bridges in this country?
It's a temple. You know how those mountain temples go. They made bridges a long time ago, and then they break. But everybody there is a monk with superpowers. It's okay. Alpha bouncing around like crazy. Needs one more key. Oh, that looks like a...
To Alpha? Did he
I
swing
touched
into the water?
Ooh. Yeah. It's the video game classic of don't touch the goop.
Oh, it's shaped. Okay, it's not just flat.
Was a very risky re-grab there. Yeah, the distance of your swing is again dependent on how far away from the enemy you are when you start it. Alpha, go to the door. This man. I guess he's going for a 4th key.
Is this even where you get another key? Another one was up there. Oh, here's one. Okay, I guess that's the one. Can never have enough keys.
You never know when you need them. I think that's it for this game. If I remember correctly. Yes. This has actual credits, so that is a very easy one. Everybody gets so impatient with these doors opening after collecting a crystal. So yeah, Alpha is moving on to the last game, which is a little boss rush game. It's also the only one of these games that is already released. So if this looks interesting to anyone, check out Far From Dead, which has 2 user reviews. It's another one of these unknown video games. And no skipping this little cutscene. What is he doing? Is he gonna complain? Did he realize that he's out of IRC?
Yeah. Maybe he's reading the paste or something.
Oh, there's not much to read there. This is Conquest. There's no pacement. There's no notes for this game. He did realize it's IRC, yeah.
At least now you can tell that we don't hear any other audio.
Maybe everybody just muted their own games. Oh, I learned how to shoot. And has to fight the first boss. Just this lich in a potato sack, coal sack. It's some form of
Yeah, coal sack, might say. Explosive coal. A Java and a like. Yeah, that works.
Sure, why not? Yeah, the good thing about this game is you don't have to mash the shoot button because that would be very painful. You can just hold it. Depending on how well everybody does, this should be either the shortest or the longest of the games. Boss rush games famously depend on how well it mashes with people.
Ooh, Alpha taking a big hit there, but does defeat the boss.
First try at that. And moves on to the second boss. This guy took me a while. Wait. Pretty sure this is the second and last boss of this. So if Alpha also one-shots this guy, he's done.
Oh, there's just two bosses?
Yes. This wouldn't be in here if this wasn't the showcase, because yeah, but this guy deals a lot of damage and has a lot of very annoying patterns to learn.
If the boss hits you, they do so much damage. Alpha's
Yes.
losing like half of a segment.
Yeah, you have I think like 3 or 4 hits.
Marshmaster also moving on to the boss rush game already. Far from dead.
That'll be very interesting. If you also beat the first boss first try, there is a very real chance that he can catch up to Alpha. Who try to be safe on the wall. The walls are very much not a safe spot in this fight. There is no safe spot in this fight from what I could tell when playing this game. But there are a few things that one can abuse. For example, whenever the ghost does his shooting, he always shoots only the other side, so you can basically hide under him. The side swipe, however, is very hard to dodge if one doesn't just jump over.
Alpha finishing one phase, but has so little health by now. The boss
Yeah,
really
the
hits
second
pretty hard.
Has new moves. Yeah, there's no hiding on the wall when the swooping attack comes in. Depending on how long this takes, we might see everybody congregate in this last game. There is a reason for why this is the last one. I semi-expect this to be somewhat of an equalizer for some people. Alpha is definitely struggling way more than with the first boss.
Yeah, this boss moves so much. It's not just that there's no safe spot, you constantly have to look for a new spot somewhere. He's mainly staying up here on the wall, but then you can't really jump out of that. I guess you'd have to fall much earlier.
Yeah, you need to like kind of learn what he does. So Marshmaster is now going to join Alpha on this boss. But this might be the lead change. Potentially.
The Whitley's
Which
also...
would also mean that Marshmaster just wins.
The Whitley also in the last game by now.
Yeah, expect the first boss to not be too much of an issue for pretty much everybody. This brings back very painful memories of dealing with this boss. The best part is that this is one of those bosses that really isn't that bad if you take your time. But this being a race, you don't want to take your time. Because especially the first phase, it is much easier to just dodge his attacks and wait until he's in the middle. Because when he's in the middle doing his laughing attack and then shooting all of the bottom, you can just blast him for no consequences whatsoever. Which is really nice. Alpha is getting the hang of this now, at least in this first phase.
Yeah, no damage in the first phase, but now...
Yep, easily takes damage.
So the boss still does the same... Oh, mostly the same. Okay, this teleport is new.
He weaves some other attacks in between. The opinions of people on these different games are also going to be very interesting, because I have a feeling that some people will like this game quite a bit, and others will specifically not like this game. Also doing pretty well here on the first boss. Say it and then he gets hit twice.
And Alpha reached the second phase, again with not too much problems, but now taking a lot of damage.
Died. He has to retry this first boss. Yeah, Marshmaster is also in a similar position to Alpha. Seems to be really struggling with how to tackle the second phase of this boss. Yeah, I think Alpha is...
Oh, you can dash through the enemy too?
Yes, there is a dodge. The dodge timing is very precise though. Perhaps also moving on to this game. Which, during the setup, he described as saving the best for last, so we'll see if he actually likes this game afterwards. But, yeah, this is the last game. Gotta make things interesting. Is in the second phase and it's a death. That seems about right. It is a very difficult phase.
Yeah, Marshmaster also dying in the second phase. The boss moves so fast that you really have to know his patterns ahead of time.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those. It's much better to dodge and use the like downtime when the boss does the very slow attacks than trying to go for damage constantly, which is very much the opposite of the first boss. Seems to be kind of what Mashmaster is going for here. Whitley, defeating the first boss, is gonna join the other two in perpetual second boss jail.
Yep, this is how we're gonna spend another 35 minutes.
Oh yeah, this could take a while. This could go very fast. This could take a while. This is the game that had the highest
Marshmaster making
time
some really good
variance.
progress here.
He is taking it significantly slower than Alpha, aggression-wise.
I think might be on phase 3? Not sure.
It's not really a phase 3, but it's definitely like...
The health bar has segments at least.
Yeah, but I don't think there was a like actual change.
I think one new thing I caught is like this left-right teleport where the boss jumps between sides, just teleports back and forth.
It does like doing that. It's very annoying because if you're not adapting to that, it can hurt. Quite a bit.
Also getting to phase 3, yeah, there we go.
I think perhaps light to the first boss. Oh, once. It's gonna come in with a significant knowledge deficit for the second boss afterwards, compared to the other races at this point. We can definitely see an adjustment in behavior from Alpha, for example, not trying to constantly climb walls anymore, just waiting, which is definitely the safer approach.
I guess if you're on the wall, you don't really have a good way to avoid the boss.
Yeah, it becomes really difficult to avoid the swoop. Because the swoop is really, really fast. Yeah, this is about what I expected. Now we have, for the first time since the first game... Oh no, with the third game wasn't this I guess they were all kinda in the same game for a while each time, but for the first time really everybody is at the same place. So this is gonna be very interesting. This is at the same time great to watch and miserable for the racers.
Yeah.
Which is the best type of combination, because I know I would hate to be in this position. Like, as fun as boss rush games are to watch, they are, in my opinion, one of the most stressful ones to race.
Yeah, having to redo a whole boss is a lot of effort.
Not only that, it really is just like, it comes down to like a minuscule adjustments of your behavior and like how quick you can grasp what the boss does.
Looks like Alpha and Marshmaster might be getting it soon though. They managed to get the boss pretty low already.
Well, they have been here for the longest, so it makes sense that they are the most adapted to the boss's behavior at this point. Yeah, the wall climbing when the boss in the center is gonna be key to figure out. Fabs seems to grasp this boss very well. And then gets swept.
Yeah, Fab's also staying on the wall, so maybe Fab's just got lucky, I'm not sure, because usually staying on the wall we saw is a problem. Easily gets you.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to stay on the wall if the boss just swoops you. Like, he is either very precise with his height or very lucky with his height. Because if you're at the like lower third, you can sometimes dodge the swoop. But the boss specifically does a little circling when he reaches the top to hit you even if you're hiding behind.
Is also staying in the middle and using the dodge. I don't think we see everyone using the dodge so far.
The dodge timing is very tight in this.
Whitley even managing to dodge through the shot barrage, which I didn't expect to be dodgeable like that.
He's definitely the most accomplished with dodging, but he needs to understand that he has to wall jump, otherwise this is gonna take forever. Like, it's impressive that he can dodge this on a regular basis, but he doesn't have time to deal damage to the boss if he has to wait for the boss to come down every time.
Why can the guy not aim up? Marshmaster looking good, Alpha also on the last section.
I think they both... Oh, Marshmaster's looking really good here. This might be it. Yep. It's a comeback win.
Okay, so that should be a finish for Marshmaster anytime now.
Yeah, there's gonna be the credits popping up here in a bit. Boy, he skips the cutscene, which puts it back
having
to
a smoke.
Yep. 1 hour, 2 minutes. The 60-minute estimate worked out. I did it. This time it didn't take 4 hours. However long it took last though. Yeah, Marshmaster seems to have enjoyed these games, which is good. I think Agnonan might have to forfeit due to tech issues, because apparently this game started lagging really badly.
And also doesn't have checkpoints apparently.
Yeah, it's that's a very unfortunate thing. Alpha was so close. Yeah, if Whitley does manage to do this without touching the walls, yeah, this is a very anti-greed boss. This is a boss that definitely prefers if you take it slow, wait for the boss to stand still, and don't try to constantly hit it. Which feels very antithetical to how one normally approaches boss rush games, I feel. Normally, those tend to want aggressive play.
It's funny how everyone's
again,
here. It's one of those.
Yep.
This part is the race situations.
I told you, this is the great equalizer. This is specifically why this is the last game. This is the part that people need to adapt to. If Alpha doesn't get greedy, do not get greedy, Alpha. Okay, 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 he did it. Also, knowing Alpha, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps in here once he dot dunce. Or shit talks the games. We'll see. Very unpredictable man. Well, his hand did apparently not like Far From Dead. Which for me personally was the game I had the least issues with hand-wise. It was ironically Turnip Mountain that hurt me.
I guess you don't have to mash, but you have to move a lot, maybe?
Yeah, you do have to move a lot. Restrictions of games are always difficult. But generally, like if you don't have to mash something, I think it's fine. Yeah, it is kind of impressive that Alpha did not get greedy. That feels like a very not Alpha behavior. And what happened to Cabbage's stream?
It's very loud over some advantage.
Consistency is difficult. Yeah, I would expect perhaps to be the next one to finish. Unless Whitley realizes he can just wait on the wall. UL option for autofire? I mean, I'd probably be fine with people using that. I didn't particularly look into the options. Like anything that is an accessibility feature, if it's not too overpowered compared to the other person, I think is generally fine for people to use. With Autofire, everybody can just turn it on, so it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, Whitley is very set in his way, but it might work. It's just gonna take the longest. Funny enough, phase 3 is probably the one where Whitley can deal the most damage because the boss does spend significantly more time in the bottom part of the room in that phase. He just has to get there first. I think people not trying quarter strats might have to do with this being a genre that a lot of people don't encounter in races. Like, boss rush games aren't exactly a super common mystery tournament genre, I'd say. Like, they appear from time to time, but not on a regular basis, so that's probably one of the genres that people just have not a lot of experience with.
I guess there's not that many boss rush games in general. We do have some. We had all of those Gegege no Kitaro games.
The issue with boss rush games is that they are often, like, very punishing. Like, and that's not the most fun. Or they're super short. The issue very much is, like, a boss rush game can take one person 10 minutes and the other person 60 for the same amount of content, which might as well be 2 bosses.
Cabbage Head doing pretty well there.
Yeah, Cabbage, one of the people that I wouldn't expect to do well compared to some of these other names in here, but it's doing very well. Yet another great example of sometimes the unknown person or lesser known person can be very deadly. Phenomenon that happens a lot in blind racing tournaments. People are getting consistently further in this fight. I feel like, with the exception of Whitley, because he is trying so hard to do his floor strat. Yeah, Cabbage isn't bad at video games, but Cabbage isn't, like, if you hear names like Nighty, So Much Fabs, Alpha 5, then Cabbage Head is the one that, like, kind of vanishes in the background, because most of these other people have been doing a lot of races and have been doing very well in tournaments. Well, Cabbage Head is just enjoying participating and doing well.
Willie actually got pretty far there, just took a bunch of unfortunate hits.
I cannot wait for him to beat this boss and somebody telling him that he can wall jump. He probably did actually forget, and it's gonna be very funny to tell him. I cannot wait. Like, it is one of the best things when somebody just forgets a mechanic and then afterwards gets told.
So not too long ago we raced this, what's the game called? Purple something? Kind of fast platformer, and I played the whole game without realizing there's a run button.
Oh yeah, you did.
Purple Arc. Because there are actually ways to get running without the run button. But it's more work.
I mean, a lot of games nowadays aren't designed around, like, using one of the base mechanics. But they certainly help.
Well, I thought that's kind of the gimmick of the game, like it would be fun if you had to do special things to get running.
roll down ledges.
Yeah, or push off a wall.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a gimmick a game would have. So I can see how you'd come up with the assumption that there's no running. Whitley is getting really good at dodging all these attacks. Like, really good.
Oh, Fabs. Getting very close here.
Oh.
And it's a finish
he
for
did it.
Fabs. 90
90
might also...
oh.
Oh, took a big hit there. Oh yeah, the Whitley has the boss down pretty far and has... Okay, a bit less health now. Oh, there come the hits.
Oh. Yeah, that's a very long barrage there at the end.
But yeah, very impressive that the Whitley got the boss down this far with just standing on the floor.
The good thing is, at this rate, if this continues, this will perfectly bridge the gap to the race in like 30 minutes. So everything will work out perfectly. Yeah, if he does make it to phase 3 again without taking damage, I think he can actually do it. Like all three people currently on screen are looking fairly good. Cabbage might be the one who is struggling the most still, but I think he'll do fine.
I'm not sure we've seen Agnolan so far, but they're also on the last boss here.
Well, I don't... Yes and no. His second game crashed, so he had to like restart it, but then it didn't have a checkpoint, so he decided to move on to this game first, then either forfeit or go back to the previous game.
Okay. And Toastfish is starting this game right now.
Oh, 90 is probably beating this boss right here. Oh, that was very scary.
There we go. Another finish.
Finish from 90 was always expected. There's never gonna be not a finish from 90. Even if it takes 24 hours.
How come the dash has iframes for Whitley? I thought that's normal for the dash. I've seen several people use that.
The dash has iframes, the dash is just very precise. The thing is that Whitley has gotten very good at using the dash, because Whitley doesn't know that he can wall jump.
Whitley almost making it through the triple barrage there.
He is at this point a prodigy of dodging in this game. This is actually really impressive. Seeing the preview on what I assume is Tossed Fish stream.
No, I think it's still 90.
Still 90? Watching the trailer maybe? Look at all these wonderful bullet heli bosses. I cannot believe he actually did this.
Agnolan forfeiting in the meantime. That leaves us with Tossed Fish, I think.
That is... I cannot believe he did this without wall jump. That is... There is a level of dedication to dodging that is, quite frankly, impressive.
Sounds like the Whitley was not happy with the game.
The question is it because he didn't know he can wall jump, or just because he didn't like the game? I mean, this is the type of game that definitely some people like, and some people will very much not like. And if everybody somehow finishes in the next, like, 9 minutes, the estimate was perfect. Yeah, again, this is a showcase for the main tournament, which starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. So if anybody wants to still join, this is still a tournament with open signups. Here's the entry with all the information, as well as a link to the launch page. Which should allow for a simple sign up. Now we're down to the last 2 racers.
Stupid Twitch always making me do extra work here.
It's always the same. Twitch changing like a minuscule thing, YouTube changing a minuscule thing, and breaking everything. It is very funny that Whitley is talking about the dodge being just too short. He is the only one who got the dodge to consistently be useful.
I think I saw Alpha dodge a bunch, but yeah, the Whitley has really figured out how to use it and still doesn't like it.
Fine, that happens, right? You can't like every game. That is a thing. Also, congratulations to your 3-year mod journey, Roar. Now join NextFest Conquest. Everybody should join NextFest Conquest. A statement that will stay true.
I mean, you specifically said that it's gonna cause problems when we have like 32 races, I think.
It's 32 people won't sign up anyway, but they should. I mean, if people want to race like 4 games a day, it'll work out if we have like 60 people. I just don't think most people have the energy for that. Also, we would be sitting here 24/7, which might be a bit much.
We're just leaving the stream on and people can enter their stream in for themselves. Self-service restream.
Hop on in. fair enough. Also, another very important thing, people don't have to join the tournament to join the races. Similar, just like Mystery Tournament, people can just join the races. And since these are demos, as long as you have a computer with Steam, you can probably play the video game.
I mean, it's kind of less likely than with a Mystery Tournament game, I feel, because here you might get like an Unreal Engine game or a badly optimized Unity game.
We don't talk about the possibility of Unreal Engine 5. Okay, it's okay. I can play those now. I can test them now. I have a new computer since last NextFest. We will now potentially encounter more Unreal Engine games.
A lot of these demos also like to start with the frame rate uncapped, which makes no sense to me. Like even if you have a fancy, I don't know, 240 Hz monitor, that's you don't want more frames than that.
Not only do you not want more frames, if you're streaming, OBS will hate you. There is nothing OBS hates more than a game suddenly having like 1000 FPS. It is not agreeing with it. You have the games that start uncapped, and you have the Unreal Engine 5 game starting with Lumen and all the settings on because somebody didn't remove all the things.
Yeah, I never hear my PC fans spin up as much as when I start one of those demos that doesn't have a frame rate cap.
I remember when you played the ball game last year. The one that I couldn't even test, where you re-streamed your own match. Oh, Cabbage is so close. That was very dangerous. And then your comment was, "Oh, I can hear my computer." Because the game started with all settings high, and you had this shiny ball. It was very nice looking. Very important for a ball game. Yeah, I mean, most GPUs have a program that lets you just automatically limit the FPS, but generally I prefer to just set it in the game. Unless the game doesn't let you, then I'll default to using the GPU software.
So I'm not sure, but I think limiting the FPS in the graphics card settings might also cause issues.
It does sometimes.
Like last year we had the problem that we had a WonderSwan game in a race, and WonderSwan apparently has a 70 Hz refresh rate, and for some reason that restricted the emulator to run at 60 frames.
Why is it 70?
It's a portable, it can do what it wants. It's not like it doesn't have a video standard.
$70 still feels like a weird number. Well, but who cares? They can do what they want. Oh no, does Tossed Fish also don't know Eagle Wall Jump? Oh no. We have a repeat.
So we mentioned that you can of course join the races even if you don't join the tourney. But even if you don't join the races, we do have a NextFest Conquest channel in the Discord that's very active with all the demos we find and we play.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch more showcases next week to talk about before I disappear for 2 weeks playing demos. Very important, somebody has to do it. We also keep up to date with what released and talk about Steam's new regional pricing scheme. Way too often. So many things to talk about. Plus fish, please wall jump. I beg of you. The other thing with NextFest is generally there's something that was popular by the time that most of the games in NextFest entered development, which severely affects what once a lot. So with Silksong having been a hit, there is a good chance that we get a bunch of Metroidvanias again. There's a chance that we get still a bunch of deck builders, which never end, because there's hundreds of them. You never know. That's the fun part. It could very well be a NextFest where there's 90% puzzle games. It could also be one where there's no puzzle games.
We already had like Balatro-likes and Vampire Survivor-likes and so on. What's the new genre to chase after?
It's still those. Vampire Survivor-likes will never die. They're too easy to make. There's so many. I cannot put into words how many Vampire Survivors likes there are. I do know that the upcoming NextFest has a bunch of racing games. Those will not be in the tournament. Because I do not like racing game races, as such they are banned. The power of running your own tournament. Unless they're like mission-based races, then they might be. But they will probably still pop up in the NextFest Conquest Discord channel. Because might as well talk about good games. Fish is still doing decently well here for not being able to wall jump as well. Not realizing he can. Yeah, he can do the third phase. Maybe he can do it. Listen, if it's a very creative game, we can talk about it. But it needs to be a very creative game. I would love to put point-and-click games into the pool, but if I put a bunch of point-and-click games into the tournament pool, people will lynch me. We just need to make a point-and-click and hidden cats tournament. We're gonna call it Point at the Cats. I am already playing way too many demos. There's a few very nice looking RPGs that are gonna be NextFest as well, but I have to skip those because those are probably not gonna be tournament eligible. So first I will focus on the platformers and the puzzle games. Point and clicks are very weird to raise, because personally I think that a point and click takes time to like get a grasp of how serious it is, because some point and click games are very strict with what you can't do, and some are put the rubber chicken into the keyhole and it just works because it's rubber. Fish got to phase 3 and sadly didn't make it. Restarting as soon as he gets hit. I would rather not have another several hour-long RPG demo. That was, I think, still the longest demo I played. rage games are also banned. I just didn't know that there was one in the pool. It's fine. It'll all be fine. We learned our mistakes. There's also not gonna be any more penguin ice block pushing video games. Probably. Maybe.
But that sounds like a very standard mystery genre.
No, that one...
Oh, is that... No, wait, isn't that the... What's the name of that well-received puzzle game? Something Rescue. Is that the penguin ice block pushing game?
Gen 2 Rescue was the one that was in the last showcase. That's the one that we got a key for, and Bright Shadow won the key and played the game and finished the game, and then recently got a version 1.2. And the bonus games for it are, or the extra levels for it are very convoluted, and he is still confused as what to do. But it's a good game. No, there was a game in Conquest 2 that was a penguin ice block pushing game. The issue was that the enemy movement was very not controllable, and you needed the enemies to be at certain positions to turn them into ice blocks and push them into point place. And that made it in, and that shouldn't have made it in, and that will just not happen again. It's fine. We all make mistakes. And somehow that was another game that Nighty got. And Nighty, I think Nighty is cursed with demos because somehow Nighty got several games that broke and also several very RNG heavy games, and I feel very bad about it. Fish stream froze? Because the audio is still going.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I can reload. It doesn't sound like the game anymore because it doesn't have music. Maybe that's just what the menu sounds like. I guess it's the boss in the background still shooting. Yeah.
Probably.
I think Tossed Fish is just waiting.
Well, he has become the mercy information of there is a wall jump, so he will probably be significantly less miserable now.
Well, first he has to figure out that you keep getting hit when you wall jump.
I think he is also the one who turned on the auto fire, which is fine. I see no issue with it. He's also the last one in the race, so that really doesn't matter anymore. But clearly we all want to see him succeed before we move back to the regularly scheduled program of Mystery Tournament. Which will feature one race before Toss Fish's race. So I assume he wants to finish and then take a short break and win his game to face Andy, which is another race that he will of course win. It's always good to root for an underdog. It's fine. This was a selection of games specifically chosen for the showcase, with this one specifically being the last one, because it's a great equalizer. Also, talking about Toss Fish is also the person who made the Conquest logo, which is a very nice, sleek-looking logo. Big fan. I tested FPS games, but they were not good for race for a variety of reasons.
I mean, we occasionally have FPSs even in Mystery Tournament.
Yeah, they show up, but I feel like FPSs are one of those genres that is often also kinda mazy for whatever reason, and sometimes they're just very unfair with respawns.
They just have to make a new ultra kill. That's what it's called.
Or another super hot. So I guess that's also kind of a puzzle game, but like, I'm pretty sure Super Hot, or a version of Super Hot, was in a tournament before. Well, this is the demo of a game. Maybe the full version is less bare bones. You can pay, what was it, $7.79 to find out. You might be able to leave a comment in the Steam discussion about the Crimson Thread game, about performance issues. Sometimes developers look at that. Generally, feedback is always welcome for indie games, from my experience. Whether they will incorporate that is a different topic. You can never have too many games in your backlog. I'm pretty sure everybody has a lot of them. Where have you finished Alice on the CDI?
No, I was sick this week, otherwise I would have played it.
Well, see, everybody has many backlog games. We don't talk about how many Steam games I have and put aside because I play demo. A backlog is just there to look at and say you have it.
A backlog is like a rich buffet you can pick from.
And you still go back to the same thing you used to. Why try chicken pate when you can have chicken nuggets? Tasty chicken nuggets that you're used to.
I guess tossed fish is just stretching the time now until the match comes up. Going by race chat. I think we should have a match coming up in a few minutes. And there was another one scheduled tentatively for an hour ago. I assume that might also be joining there.
That was cancelled yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Those medical reasons. I kept track of everything around this to know if we need to rush or not. We can enjoy tossed fish attempts here. I think he can still do this within the next 10 minutes. I believe in him.
Yeah, he did get pretty. He's kind of got the Whitley strat down, mostly staying on the ground.
Like, not knowing how to wall jump teaches you how to dash and dodge properly. Now it's just getting used to the new moves. Yeah, teleporting is very painful. Like, if the boss would just do slightly less damage, it would be a very nice and forgiving video game. Like, I am terrified of some of the enemies that were shown in the trailer for the game. They look very mean. Relaxing music in a way for a boss rush game. I feel like normally it's much more aggressive in a way. I don't know how to properly describe the music.
I mean, it's pretty fast. It's not like the cat game.
But it feels like it's too soft. It doesn't have the like the aggressive tone or instruments somehow.
The Toastfish did so well, but now took a big hit
Fine,
there again.
fine. Still have 3 hits. Just gotta believe. Playing it safe, then running into the teleporting guy. Has to dash to the side. Oh, okay. Oh, so close.
Maybe the knowledge that you could wall jump is actually making him play worse, putting him into danger.
I think it's mostly because he doesn't know all the safe spots. He can do this before the game ping. I have high hopes. Yeah, jumping there is not the best idea. Yeah, being high up on the walls is very dangerous. The swoop does its job. More or less precisely designed to protect those corners. Yeah, but if you could dash mid-air, this game would be easy. You can't have that. Like, then this boss would be no issue whatsoever, because you just jump and dash off the wall. I think there's a solid 2 to 3 more attempts in Toastfish here before we're probably gonna have to move on.
Not he's gotten far enough. I believe he can do it.
Yeah, definitely. All this shows us is that boss rush games are very much a genre that people are not comfortable with. Like, pretty much everybody struggles with this game. Okay, phase 3. Getting there. Oh yeah, it's not an easy game. By any means. But also, I just think a lot of people don't play a lot of boss rush games. Can he do it?
Pep says the best game was the third one. I don't know, what's everyone's favorite game of these 4? I think I liked the first one best. The climbing game. The turnip climber.
I mean, I am very biased towards the cat Sokoban, but the third one does definitely have the smoothest movement. No, Goose, this isn't a platformer. This is a boss rush. Fine. No platforming here. Just bosses. Well, it's going until we hear a gift game. Well, until Tossfish finishes this boss. Primarily so the stream doesn't go down.
Either one will probably happen in a few minutes.
Yeah. And then I will probably disappear. I don't know where restreams the mystery tournament match or if somebody else comes in.
I'm hoping someone else will come in.
It's the weekend. Somebody will be around, right?
Yep, and there's
Alright, Tossfish decided it's enough. Boss rush games are the bane of people's existence.
But I guess that finishes our NextFest Conquest showcase for now. If you have the time and would like to race a whole lot of demos, definitely join the NextFest Conquest. Well, even if you don't, there's gonna be a lot of demos to see. There's gonna be a lot of demos posted on our Discord.
Yeah, only a few hundred, it's fine. Yeah, sign up. Right, Dark Bliss? That's a good thing to do. Sign up before the start of the tournament. But yeah, races that are open to everybody, same as usual. Also, again, very importantly, there will be no AI games in the tournament. It is something that has been decided. That will not be an issue. So everything will be made by people.